I met Shelaine at church. Well, I noticed her way before she noticed me, and thought she was very attractive. And I jumped to a conclusion that she was a rich Californian lifeguard.
I grew up in Wyoming. I came from humble beginnings and I barely know how to swim.
Yep.
We knew each other 3 months when we got engaged, and we were married less than 3 months after that. When you know, you know.
Yeah.
We wanted to save money, and his parents were kind enough to let us come stay for the summer. And then he ended up being diagnosed with leukemia.
That was the fateful summer. Yeah, we thought we were there just for a couple months, but it turned into be a big journey for our lives. I was diagnosed with AML, and it's a very aggressive, fast-spreading type of leukemia. But I was fortunate to be diagnosed very early on, and so they started the chemotherapy the following day.
Faith is a really powerful thing, and we were a lot more optimistic than the doctors were about it.
For my type of chemotherapy treatments that I received, it basically required me to live in the hospital. There's a lot of time on your hands when you're sitting in a hospital room, and so I decided to go around and try to meet other patients. And I will never forget the day when Greg Johnston arrived on the floor in the room right next to me. He was a cowboy from Vernal, Utah, and in some ways, Greg and I were polar opposites.
We both like chicken sauce, so.
But in other ways, we were kindred spirits.
And Mentos.
He was deeply spiritual and lived with a lot of regret for some of the things that had happened in his life, and he wanted to make amends with God and with his daughter. These are the type of things that I didn't like talking about at times with him, because he was implying that he wasn't going to make it. And yet he felt a strong connection to me, and he wanted me to live for us both and to do something great with my life. That challenge kind of troubled me. I just wanted to be a computer programmer and sit behind a screen. That was my aspiration in life. But God had more in mind for me, and Greg had more in mind for me as well in that challenge. And I didn't ultimately accept that challenge until the last day that I saw Greg. Those experiences with Greg never left me. I continued to live with the memory of that, and yeah, I suppose even the hope that I would be able to fulfill that promise that I did make to Greg on that day in the hospital. But I didn't know how I would do that.
I'm going home for good.
After my treatments were finished and I was recovering, spent some time in Boise, we started to move on with our lives. We felt very blessed, very fortunate. I did wind up ultimately as a computer programmer, and then through a series of events, I started my own software company. I worked hard on that business for about 5 or 6 years, and we were able to sell that business and create some amazing financial freedom for our family that we are thankful for.
While he was transitioning out of that job, we were talking on the phone one day when he was driving home from work about a loved one of ours that had been sexually abused as a child, and Derek said, "That's so unfair. Somebody's got to do something about that."
Yeah.
And that conversation changed our lives.
It was very disturbing to me that she would feel guilt and shame for somebody else's actions. And that conversation was really the spark for Unique and for Saprea. I had a business plan that had a 5-year horizon, that hopefully at the end of that 5 years we could be successful enough to really start that cause. And we were less than 2 years in, and we had reached the point where I knew that financially we could announce and start to begin Saprea.
I'm going to get right to the point. If I leave it up to chance, clear data shows that one of the 3 of these will be sexually abused before they're 12 years old. And I can't change all of it, but I can make a difference.
When it was announced in that convention, there was an audible gasp. And one of the women came straight up to me and said, "Thank you for doing something for women like me."
Seeing Shelaine step up and be the visionary, the founder, the head of Saprea, the way she feels and cares about the individuals is what made her perfect for that role.
Never in my life did I ever think that I would be standing in front of thousands, speaking on a matter that makes most people feel very uncomfortable.
It's been absolutely amazing to help the individuals that we're helping, and I don't always get to do that, but they are so filled with gratitude that someone noticed them, that someone recognized that they needed hope and help and healing. Never did I ever think that this is what my life would look like now. But somebody had to do it, and why not us? Why not each of you who are listening? Why not you?
More people need to be behind this cause with passion than just the Maxfields, than just the company Unique. We need a lot of people, and a lot of people who feel drawn to this cause, to join in that fight and in that support.
There are people who do fundraisers on their own. They post on their social media. We've had multiple women come to our retreat because they saw a post somebody from high school made. They are making a difference for others in their lives.
To the question of whether this is the legacy that we want to leave behind as a couple and as a family, I think the answer to that is yes. I can say that I could die in peace right now and feel like I had kept the promise to Greg.
I have hope and a deep belief that we can do enough. The things that we are doing now are working, and the more people who benefit from what we are doing, the bigger the difference we're going to make in their individual lives and in the world.